Now, if Jesus had existed, I would be impressed with him and his teachings and be a big fan. But I don't think he did exist. The documentary, The God Who Wasn't There, makes a very good case for the fact that there's no historical documentation of his existence until 60 AD. And he was said to die on the cross approximately 33 AD. So 27 years without mentioning somebody like that is hard to believe, because there was written language and documentation by that time. So it seems more likely that he was made up after the fact, and his attributes, the God Who Wasn't There also mentions this, his attributes are a combination of many other spiritual heroes before him who were also mythological. And I understand why people don't want to challenge this, because what he represents is love, forgiveness, and really good things. And a lot of people feel that their salvation is based upon him and his existence, so they fight for it, and no amount of fact can ever dissuade them. But for those who are willing to question, I want to challenge the idea that we cannot have a spiritually fulfilling life without Jesus as a role model. I don't believe that he really is a good role model because of his lack of ego throughout his lifetime. And what we need to become are a different kind of role model, which is one who has ego and works on their stuff and heals and deals with their relationship issues and deals with other people honestly and courageously and gets to something real, and in that process transcends their ego and their challenges and becomes a more peaceful person. Now, a lot of peaceful teachers, such as Eckhart Tolle, will talk about Jesus as if he was a real person. Jesus said, and that kind of thing. And maybe Tolle knows that Jesus didn't exist, but this is what he does to try to get more Christians interested in his Eastern teachings, that they might be more closed-minded if they didn't believe that he was integrating Jesus into his teachings more. I don't know. Or maybe he just believes it. The History Channel has had a lot of shows on regarding Jesus from a historical perspective, and they don't question his existence. They just talk about his existence as if it were true. And you'd only see that in a Christian-based culture where History Channel is perpetuating this kind of myth. A Course in Miracles was supposedly channeled by, Helen Schuckman was the writer who was supposedly channeling Jesus. But from what I understand, she was very mystically inclined herself, and she was also extremely educated. And that work took, I believe, 7 or 8 years, quite a number of years to come out. If it was all banged out in its current form within a weekend or something, then I'd be wondering if that was really intensely channeled. But when something takes that long to write, that's longer than non-channeled novels, typically. So I believe that it felt real to her. I don't believe people are lying when they say that material came from Jesus. They believe that, but I don't believe that Jesus existed. And so what comes from the idea of questioning Jesus, how can that be beneficial? I believe that what's beneficial about it is whenever we replace an illusion with reality, even when it's painful, something more high vibrational takes its place. I believe that there's clearly something going on beyond logic, and that there is a vast spiritual realm for us to understand. But we have to let go of all of our idols and myths and illusions to see what is real, to let reality come in. we are so much more powerful in terms of what we're able to create here. But we can't move forward until we let go. Most religions are based upon holding on to old concepts and not letting in new ideas, because the new ideas will threaten the very existence of those religions. So they can be thousands of years old, and often are, and act as if nothing new has come in during these thousands of years. And that's sad, because we miss out on so much new awareness. We can let in concepts such as synchronicity. Something's going to a lot of trouble to guide us, and that's intense and weird and powerful and can't be explained by logic. We can create beautiful visions of a world that goes beyond this idea of 80 years and then death. We can keep ourselves youthful and lively and healthy. We can go beyond just trying to stay in good shape through staying emotionally healthy and just stay alive indefinitely. Because whenever we reincarnate, there is a starting over period where we have to go through a period of forgetting and then remembering again. And we can keep on remembering if we stay healthy and we live in truth. The way to stay healthy is to live authentically. I believe that's what the soul came here to do. Have an authentic experience. And when we're not being authentic, we develop illness and disease and eventually die. So let's really open up to broader visions of spiritual spectacularness, of blending, as is talked about in Celestine prophecy, and I think in one of the sequels, the spiritual and material realms coming together, and the end of the birth-death cycle. Being able to dematerialize, rematerialize, go where we need to go for whatever lessons we have to learn or whatever lessons we have to teach. Being able to have a true mastery over our being is only possible when we let go of our illusions. So even though there are many people that are into New Age spirituality or contemporary spiritual beliefs or traditional Christian beliefs that they all believe in Jesus, I say it's time to let go. Because if you cling to myths despite the evidence that is contrary, then you may be blocking yourself not only from reality, but from an entirely new way of being that can bring true peace. I mean, it's amazing when these ideas are questioned, how enraged certain people get who are supposedly followers of Jesus, and yet they get so easily triggered. I mean, they aren't very peaceful people, or they wouldn't get so enraged and pissy. There is a peace that is beyond any organized religion from the East or West, but we can draw upon all these different influences and take what is best and get rid of the dogma and get rid of the fairy tales and put together a new kind of belief system that really resonates on a deep level. We don't have to exclude science. We can take what we're learning from quantum physics and string theory and so forth and put it all together to come up with something that is truly empowering and brings peace to people without lying to them.